Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, may I have your attention, please? Streaming to you digitally from somewhere in the universe, this is Far Out Fiesta, episode 199, Haunted Podcast City Malls. I am your host and moderator, Richard Houghton.
Yes, he is.
Please give it up for our amazing cast doing his 181st show, Robb Hudspeth.
Oh, wow. Oh, my.
Kristin Keith at 158.
Woo!
And JuliAnna Briscoe at 115.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go any further, quick question. Which fictional family would you like to be a part of? Which fictional family would you like to be a part of? It could be literature, film, cartoons, don't care. Which fictional family would you like to be a part of? Rob, do you have an answer?
The very first thing that popped in my head for some reason was the Munsters.
That's awesome.
I'll go with that.
All right, cool. What about you, Kristin?
I'll go with that too.
All right, you can be a Munster as well. Yeah. JuliAnna?
Dang. You know what's weird? Munsters actually was the first thing that came in my head too. But I don't know. I'm gonna say Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
All right.
Mine would be Simpsons, actually. Family. I
would
be
You got to say that the Munsters did have the better theme song.
Absolutely, they did.
That.
The surf guitar. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
So you want to go over the Addams Family?
Ooh, the Addams Family's got a good theme.
The Addams Family.
Good theme song too.
Day. I mean
the family.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good family too, for sure.
Well, Munsters came to mind first, so I got to go with Munsters.
I'd go with
All right. All right, the answers are locked in, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Final answer. Hey, I'm excited about tonight's show.
Yeah, I'm trying to be excited about tonight's show, but I'm not sure that it's a great idea to taunt ghosts.
You know, I've never been accused of having a great idea. I'm still excited about doing tonight's show.
We're playing with fire.
Fire? Are we doing something new tonight?
Wait, do we ever do anything that hasn't been done before?
Yeah, a million times.
And probably better.
Well, I mean, this idea is new for Far Out Fiesta.
Oh, great. Oh, great. So it is not new under any other context.
That doesn't sound promising. So what's the premise?
You know those shows where people talk about their ghost encounters?
Sure, there are a million of them. I think it's a bad idea for those shows to suck with ghosts too.
There are at least 3 channels just completely devoted to those shows.
Oh, yeah, even more podcasts.
Yeah, the universe really doesn't need another one.
No, it's almost insulting to our audience, to choose such a tired premise.
But insulting our audience is kind of our thing.
Yeah, it's also the kind of thing that triggers locust plagues.
And other pestilence.
A crap ton of other pestilence.
And ghosts don't like to be exposed. Even fictional ghosts can be deadly if you exploit them on podcasts. I mean, doing all these commercials that we cater to ghosts was weird enough.
Far out. Let's fiesta.
Is that true about exploiting fictional ghosts?
Should I be scared?
Fuck yeah, you should be scared.
Haunted Podcast City Malls. I'm excited about tonight's show.
That makes 4 of us. Taunting ghosts for the sake of a podcast is a great idea.
We're thrilled to be bringing you cutting-edge podcast content tonight.
Yeah, we are constantly breaking new ground on Far Out Fiesta, and tonight is a phenomenal example of such ground being broken.
This content has been done 0 times on Far Out Fiesta.
And even if it has been done before, what you're about to see will be so much better.
Tonight, the brand new for Far Out Fiesta, it's Haunted Podcast City Malls.
Great! You know what? I am canceling all plans for when this show airs because it's going to be so good.
It sounds so promising. And little to no risk of spreading pestilence.
On tonight's show, we will meet 4 employees from stores that have been dead even longer than the malls that housed them.
We will see reenactments of each of these otherworldly encounters.
Oh, yes, and we will begin with Pod City Books Poltergeist.
Followed by Splinter Gifts Spectre.
And tonight's final spirit encounter, Checkers Prince Phantom.
Strangely enough, our sponsors tonight are targeting the deceased.
We'll meet the first victim of Haunted Malls of City, Podcast City. In a moment, you'll meet Laverne, a former employee, Pod City Books. Before all the malls within 100 miles of Podcast City were blown up with dynamite.
Yeah, the cops blamed it on global warming.
Podcast Books. I have never heard of them. So tell me about them.
What? Okay, I wasn't prepared to do that. I've never heard of them either.
Pod City Books came into existence following a money laundering Ponzi scheme driven by its parent, Pod City Mart Corporation, in the mid-90s.
Yeah, Pod City Books was the sixth best loved provider of books, music, prostitutes, video, and other entertainment in and around Podcast City.
I remember Pod City Books now. They also had educational and informational products and services.
Okay, how come I'm the only one who hasn't heard of them? All right, well, in a moment.
Well, they were swallowed up by Amazon in 2001.
In a moment, we'll meet Laverne. She will share exclusively for this podcast audience her experience with Pod City Books Poltergeist.
But first, this important message.
Pod City Books.
Yes, City Books. Sublime.
Nailed it. In this case, sublime means outstanding spiritual, intellectual, or moral worth.
What I got.
Pod City Books Sublime is a gossamer bookseller serving the Podcast City ex-animate since 1971.
Ex-animate means dead. We sell ghost books to the dead.
Yeah, Podcast Books Sublime has grown to employ over 530 spirits across 5 Podcast City area perdition.
Perdition is the state of eternal punishment and damnation. We move a lot of product in perdition.
Which means big savings for you.
PBS book inventory exceeds 2 million volumes, give or take. You're not the best accountants.
It may be so much less.
PBS substantial size and reach to anywhere the phantasmal have time to kill and want something to read is how we're able to offer such great values.
Yeah, phantasmal means pertaining to or of the nature of a phantasm. Unreal, illusory, spectral.
Pod City Books Sublime remains grounded by our company's core values, which have guided us through the ups and downs of the apparitional book-selling industry.
Each and every revenant's eternal love of spook books drives us forward.
We have an especially intimate relationship with Podcast City Infernal Regions.
And we host ethereal events year-round in addition to children's story times. Yes, there are children visitors too.
Dead kid ghost visits.
Dead kid ghost visits.
We also offer writing on the walls in blood workshops, moving objects demonstrations, and book clubs. In our case, the books are being used as haunted clubs.
Yeah, I mean, those book clubs, man, they pack a mean wallop.
our expansive Pod City Book Sublime also reaches expired readers around the world.
Yeah, for the defunct who are as excited about books as we are.
We look forward to filling your future with many ideas for new opportunities to finish unfinished business.
New innovations and, of course, new books.
Pod City Book Sublime.
I'm Laverne. For the purposes of this reenactment, you can call me Vern Vern.
No, I don't think
No,
I'll
that's
be
dumb.
calling
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm not going to call you that.
Your mom said about that.
I'm playing myself in the reenactment, which I think is bitchin'. My sister Blake and I were doing after-hours inventory in the middle of nowhere, Podcast City View Mall.
We were working in Podcast City View Mall, and the mall is closed.
Yeah, we were doing inventory by ourselves.
Not another soul around.
Why did you say it like that? The bookshop had been in the now blown up with dynamite mall since the early 1980s. My sister loves this place and has frequented it. She's just frequented it many times over the years.
I love this place and I've frequented it many times over the years. That's one of the reasons I decided to work here in the early 90s.
I too very much enjoy working here in the early 90s. That noise is totally distracting.
What noise? I have on my Walkman. I'm listening to spoken word.
I was kept up all night by someone, maybe two people.
Oh, this is one of my favorite Liz Fair spoken word audio books.
Hey, do you see any Dunkaroos?
These tiki torches are 3 for $5. So was the Red Ranger one of the original Power Rangers?
See any ring pops or Lunchables?
I think the original Power Rangers were the Red Ranger and the Black Ranger.
Any 3D Doritos? Okay, wait. The Pink Ranger, the Blue Ranger, and the Green and White Ranger were original Power Rangers too.
Well, I'm not sure that's right. Let's make one more pass.
Well, as long as it's a pacing pass.
Well, of course it's a pacing pass. Let's make one more pacing pass.
Oh, thank you.
To make sure we're not missing out on any great bargains.
Yeah, or gushers.
I heard pacing around on the roof above us, but there's no store there. Are you sure you didn't hear anything?
I'm listening to Lisa Robb on my Walkman.
Drove me crazy. I'm crazy.
What?
In the morning, I asked my sister how she could not hear it. Blake, how could you have not heard the footsteps above our head last night when we were doing inventory? And she told me that if
The upstairs of the building was a dollar store and mini golf. The upstairs of the building was also abandoned when the 2 Midwest weirdos died there.
Oh, I'm having a deadly heart attack.
Oh, my heart feels healthy as a clam.
That's not an expression. I'll collapse over here on these air fresheners. I wonder what they'd want for those. Of course, no one will find my decomposing Chet corpse.
Well, I'm having 2 deadly heart attacks, and I'll take advantage of my genetic mutation that allows me to make my corpse invisible and odorless.
Careful.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure what I tripped over.
Weird. You think it was an odorless, invisible corpse?
Yeah. Or nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, I might have tripped over my own clumsiness.
I'll take advantage of my ability to make my corpse invisible and odorless so that my Hoyt cadaver, rotting, will go largely undetected for many years.
Mall security confirmed that nobody was up there. They didn't see or smell any corpses, and furthermore, they were towing my car because I parked it in the employee of the month parking space, and I wasn't. The I wasn't the employee of the month.
And C.
What I heard that night were otherworldly spirits from the Midwest, obsessed with Power Rangers, bargains, and snacks.
Our second podcast city haunting takes place in Splinter's Gifts in the Podcast Citywood Mall.
In a moment, you will meet Blake, former employee of Splinter Gags.
Wait, Blake. Wasn't she just in the last one?
Yes. Well, her sister Laverne is in this one too.
And it wasn't suspicious to anyone that both of these sisters were involved in two separate ghost stories?
In two separate malls. I know.
Hand off.
What?
In a moment, you will meet Blake, the former employee of Splinter Gags, before all the malls within 100 miles of Podcast City were blown up with dynamite. I know you met her before in the previous segment, but just play along.
Splinter Gags. I've never heard of them, so tell me about them.
Sure will. Splinter Gags was the mall destination for entertainment, excitement, and fun for over 165 years until the malls closed and the ones around Podcast City were blown up with dynamite. Didn't think I could do it, did you?
Well, don't make a big deal about it.
I wasn't making a big deal about it.
For over 165 years, Splinter's Gags offered unique products for their core demographic, 18 to 24-year-old Kelpies.
Kelpies, of course, are water spirits from Scottish legends, usually having the form of a horse.
Weren't Kelpies reputed to cause drownings or to warn those in danger of drowning?
Well, yes, Kelpies were reputed to do those things.
Splinter's Gags is Kelpie customers.
They're all Kelpies?
98% of them.
The other percent?
They're from Oklahoma. We don't know why. But Splinter's Gags' Kelpie customers were high energy, technologically savvy, independent, and always inspired by humor and irreverence.
An example of their irreverence is this funny, certificate toilet paper. Wow.
Irreverence like these when you said you would be going to be late for work. We didn't think you meant dead napkins.
Irreverence like meetups with your maker.
Oh, and my favorite, the Kelpie black light posters.
And these Kelpie gag gifts and Oklahoman sex toys.
Mm-hmm. And over time, Splinter's Gags became a one-stop shop trend for the latest pop culture styles and a mecca for underage piercings.
From Scottish TV shows and Scottish films to Scottish video games and Scottish anime, Kelpies could find a little bit of everything in their stores.
Yeah, we'll hear about Blake's Splinter Gifts Spectre after this commercial message.
Can't cross over laundry town card.
Yeah.
Crossover Laundry Town are clean and relaxing laundry mats equipped with the state-of-the-art washers, dryers, and buckets to kick that are fully conscience operated.
We know it doesn't matter how to most ethereal beings to clean a soul's clothes. I mean, it's immaterial, so.
But that doesn't matter to you. You want a crisply starched soul.
But still, you don't want to pay high phantom dry cleaner prices.
So you do not need to haul a bag of the breath of life with you to do your inert laundry. You can load your conscience with Wraith Cash, Banshee Credit, or Discover.
And if you've got quarters, you still may be partially mortal. Bring them and we'll give you Wraith Cash to load your card.
Yeah. I mean, unlike other limbo conscious operating laundromats, the card system is convenient.
Perhaps not as convenient as going somewhere, anywhere, when you die.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to spend your life waiting, and now you're spending your afterlife doing the same damn thing.
The Kent Crossover Laundry Town card also allows us to offer you various types of promotional discounts, such as Rapture bonuses.
Free dry, wash to win, coupons, and eternity bonuses.
Combined with our mega-sized washers and dryers, biggest in town. And Spectre clothing is super thin. It doesn't take much room at all. So think of all the laundry you can get into one load.
Of course, as a ghost, why would you keep buying clothes?
Yeah. But we guarantee that you will save infiniteness and money.
Can
Cross
Cross
over laundry out.
hard.
I'm Blake. And for the purpose of this reenactment, you can call me Eclab. Like backwards.
No,
I'm not calling you that.
That's
Tell you that.
That doesn't make any
ain't doing
sense.
it.
Okay, so like haters gonna hate. I'm playing myself in the reenactment, which I think is crap because they're not paying me twice. Back when I worked at Splinter Gags in Podcast City, Wood Mall, I had my sister Laverne committed to a mental institution because she borrowed a sweater without asking.
Well, I love this sweater. It will look great on me, even though I'm not nearly as pretty as my sister Blake. I would never say that.
One day when my committed, by me, sister was having a typical terrible, I've been committed to an asylum by my sister moment.
I can't believe my sister had me committed to an asylum when I should be stocking OKC vibrators and Splinter's gags.
Could you hold it down?
We're randomly completing our unfinished mall-related business.
And she was throwing a bit of a tantrum for about 5 to 10 minutes that we couldn't get her under control.
I'm stomping my feet.
Quit it! At some point, she rather suddenly stopped and started staring at the wall. What are you doing?
Staring at the wall.
And then she started like lightly giggling and it was weird. And then 1 second she was crying and screaming and then she was all like smiling and happy.
I'm not doing all that. I'll just do the smiling and happy part.
And then she starts saying funny lady over and over and we asked her who she saw and she pointed to the wall and said the funny lady.
The funny lady. It's the funny lady.
Who is the funny lady?
That one who played the friend in that movie.
And when we asked her to describe who she saw, who is the funny lady?
She looked like an American television journalist and author, active in news reporting since 1972.
Jane Polly?
No, more like blonde. Well, blonde over dark roots. Pinched mouth, pinched smile, Vicodin addiction.
She described her deceased grandmother perfectly. I mean, she had never even met her, and I don't even think she'd ever seen like a picture of her.
That's it?
Dramatic pause. When I told this story to my parents being played in this reenactment by the 2 guys who died and rotted and the other haunted Podcast City Mall's visitation, Mom, Dad, you're never going to believe what Laverne did.
Give us a chance.
We'll try to believe you.
Ordinarily, we have to like people to believe them.
She went a little crazy, but then she calmed down and started staring at the wall and she kept saying, the funny lady, the funny lady.
Jane Polly?
No, I thought that too. And then she described her exactly like her deceased grandmother, who I don't even think she ever saw a picture of.
Big deal.
Do you have any snacks?
They didn't seem as shocked as I was. And then when I tried to like get a response from them, they looked at me and said,
I guess you don't remember that you met your deceased grandmother when you were 3.
Yeah, the exact same thing happened to you 30 years ago.
you hear that? The exact same thing 30 years ago? That's quite the visitation. Wait, those are ghosts too?
All right, well, our final haunted Podcast City Mall's encounter takes place also in Pod City View Mall, called Checkers Prince Phantom. Okay, so in a moment you will meet Trey and Dalton, and they will describe their encounter with the Checkers Prince Phantom.
Checkers Prince. What's that?
Oh, I know.
Well, she didn't ask you.
Checkers Prince was the allegedly well-dressed young man of the 80s who went to stock up for the school year. Anything to add, Rob?
Oh, are you going to let me talk now?
Nope.
Well, I'm going to anyway.
Checkers Prince began in 1968 by a prosthetic foot salesman and eventually grew to 500 stores across the nation.
Nuh-uh.
Yaha! In 1968, traveling foot seller noticed a wide open market for young men's clothing, which sent the salesperson spiraling into a suicidal depression for at least a year.
Market research reportedly found that Checkers and the royalty were popular interests of young men.
Still are.
And that's where Checkers Prince was born. Preached.
Bottom first, or feet first in the womb. That was the suburban mall.
Yep. And I was going to say all of that until somebody... Oh, never mind. So after this commercial message, we will return with more...
Checkers Prince Phantom reenactment.
What is Snazzy Haunter all about?
Bottom line, we offer up to 60% department store prices on brand name, recently passed men's, dead women's, and 100% necrotic kids clothing, footwear, and accessories.
Bottom.
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 For the restless souls who can't cross over, Snazzy Haunter carries your favorite brands of clothing, footwear, and accessories at up to 60% off department store prices.
Yeah, Dead Men's designers include Joseph Kicked the Bucket, Calvin Extinct, Former by Ralph Lifeless, Perry Expired, Kenneth Cold, Sean Bit the Dust, and Nautica. Contemporary defunct women's designers include Anne Finished and Calvin Dunford.
From used to have a career wear to shroud wear to everything in between, find a wide range of styles to suit your death style. Think suits to denim, dresses to hoodies, heels to sneakers.
We have more than 85,000 locations nationwide. Although extremely spacious, our stores are organized and uncluttered for easy shopping.
Some locations also offer post-cremation wear.
Yeah, find tailors on site, and with a quick seance, you can get all of your questions answered.
Snazzy Hunter.
Snazzy Haunter. Hey, I'm Dalton, and I used to be mall security at Pod City View Mall.
I'm Walden. I was Dalton's mall security deputy. Although I'm twice Dalton's age, I consider us contemporaries.
Wrong. You're old.
Ghosts are real, man. We're telling you.
Let us tell you about the time we got a call from one of our store owners begging us for help.
Dalton. Is Walden there too?
Yes, but we're on break.
I need your help.
As you know, we're both supernaturally inclined.
We believe in dark spirits and things.
I mean, I did it, but if there's a chance of me getting laid.
There isn't.
She kept saying,
Stand it anymore. We can't stand it anymore. We can't stand it anymore.
And
We had to leave our store.
Checkers Prince is haunted.
you're pulling my leg.
It's my standard greeting.
the next thing I know, Fiona is begging us to,
Stay at my store with me. I don't feel safe alone in Checkers Prince.
Yeah, so when we got to Checkers Prince, the lights would not turn on.
Luckily, I had a flashlight.
So we entered the store and found every tie in the store tied into nooses.
Every night for the past week, the first thing we have to do every day is unnoose the ties.
Then when we went into a dressing room, something felt weird. It was custard on the floor. But that's not important.
The darkness in the dressing room felt thick and it was hard to breathe.
Then there was this voice. No, it was more like a whisper saying, "Get out." Inches from my ear. The air by my face was cold as ice.
Fiona and Alanis ran from Checker's Prince as fast as they could, leaving us behind in the dark.
And again, the voice said, "Get out."
We left Checker's Prince and went to Bennigan's for potato skins.
We appreciate you tuning in for the Haunted Podcast City Malls. We know you have a choice in haunting podcasts, and we're happy you chose ours.
Thank you and good night. God, that one kind of petered out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sure did. I could go for some potato skins.
Ooh.
And this has been Far Out Fiesta episode 199,
Wow.
Haunted Podcast City Malls. I have been your host and humble narrator, Richard Houghton.
Yes, he has.
Please give it up. This may be my final moment. Please give it up for our amazing cast, JuliAnna Briscoe,
Yay!
Robb Hudspeth, and Kristin Keith.
Yay!
Anybody have any final thoughts?
I have a question, Richard.
Yes.
You told each of us how many episodes that we had all been in
Yes.
the show.
Yes.
At the same time.
How many episodes have you been in out of the 199?
195. I missed 4 of them.
Wow.
Yep.
Dang, that's commitment.
Yep.
I bet people don't realize Richard actually has missed 4.
That's right.
I know I had to try and host my way through a couple of them, and they're the worst
Rocked
shows
it, man.
ever.
Crushed it.
Did Jeff take over those ones?
Can't recall. I can't remember who was there when I wasn't. I
Yeah,
think
because there was one time when neither one of us was there.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. It was probably Cody or it was probably Jeff.
yeah, good guys. Thanks, guys.
They are nice guys.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Yes, they are. Any
Good
final
guys.
thoughts, eh? All right.
Looking
Thank-
forward to show 200 next week.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Can't wait.
200. That's like a
200.
bicentennial or something. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a super patriotic episode.
I'm gonna wear my stars and stripes in my big Uncle Sam hat.
Wait, you need to wear a birthday suit.
Perfect.
Oh, true.
I was thinking about doing tonight shirtless, but I'm too hairy. I'll leave everyone on that note.
Nope.